A Biblical Approach to Evidences for God, Jesus, and the Bible, Part 16. Your Responsibility to the Evidence. We're now ready to call God's witnesses to testify. We'll present hundreds of specific examples of evidence grouped under 6 major headings. One of our goals will be to heap up and multiply the evidence. This will involve considering numerous scriptures and details regarding each of the main arguments we consider. We hope the result will impress honest hearts with the great volume of evidence that exists. As you consider each specific example, each specific prophecy, each specific miracle, etc., you may find some examples more convincing than others. But remember that most of these specific examples are independent of the others. It would not be fair or honest to reject the whole weight of the evidence simply because you find some specific example to be unconvincing. As in reaching a verdict in a courtroom, your decision should be based on the preponderance of the evidence. Do you find the evidence convincing when taken as a whole? You may compare it to a trapeze artist swinging from a bar. If that bar was held by just one rope, and that rope broke, he would be in trouble. But we will demonstrate literally hundreds of examples of evidence supporting our faith. If you find one or a few of them to be weak, please remember that our bar still has hundreds of other ropes holding it up. As we study, notice how often Bible writers refer to such terms as witness, testimony, sign, confirm, proof, and prove, such as in Acts 1:3 and 9:22. Demonstrate in Acts 17:2 and 3, etc. God knew we would need evidence on which to base our faith. He does not expect us to believe simply because our parents, a preacher, or some other believer tells us to believe. Nor is faith a blind leap. God expects us to develop an honest conviction that Bible claims are true on the basis of abundant evidence in the Scripture sufficient to convince anyone who will seriously examine the evidence with an honest heart. And remember that faith in these basic Bible claims is essential to salvation. The verdict you reach will determine your eternal destiny.